Software options for the corporate webinar platform are often classy, proven performers, but they are expensive. Which one deserves your support? In my previous two videos, I looked at the 4 different webinar platforms. Now, if you haven't seen those videos yet or you're not sure about the different platforms, please watch those videos. But if you've decided that the corporate webinar platform is the right fit for you, then this is the video to watch. In this video, we're going to look at 4 of the biggest, most prominent webinar software programs in existence. They are GoToWebinar, WebEx, Adobe Connect, and Blackboard Collaborate. Are you ready to take a look?
Yes, please. I'd like to know.
Okay, so let's get this show started with GoToWebinar. So with GoToWebinar, you can see the screen at the moment. I've already got my video up and showing, and we've got this panel on the right-hand side. Now, if you ever have trouble finding your panel, just look for the little orange arrow. It will help you out because it easily disappears and easily comes back. We're going to start this broadcast here. And basically we can show our main screen or just an app or my screen. I've got options there as to what I want to show. I can give keyboard and mouse control to somebody else, and I can change presenters to someone else. There's plenty of options there. One of the things you do need to remember with GoToWebinar is it's a manual record button. That's not unusual with some of the webinar software programs, but just be aware, don't forget to press that record button if you want to record your webinar, or else the opportunity is lost. Very important. You can see there's a degree of a number of options here. There's a dashboard option which shows you how attentive everyone is who's watching the presentation. You've got a list of the attendees, so you can have a look at who's in the webinar at any given time. Audio options, webcam option which helps control my webcam over here. Questions, polls, handouts, and chat. So plenty of options, plenty of ways to interact with your participants. A few of the things that I really like about GoToWebinar, one of them is the polling. The polling works really well. So basically you can preload your polls in advance, you launch the poll, and it comes up in a separate window. As we can see here, how many webinars have you attended previously? You pick your answer, well, the attendees rather pick their answers, and then they submit them, and then when you've had enough, when you think that you've received enough responses, you can close the poll. There you go. And you can show the poll results to the attendees as well. Handouts, you can drag and drop a file in there for your attendees so they can get any handouts that you think are important as well. Another advantage of GoToWebinar is they provide the option during the setup for a follow-up survey, and that survey can be delivered as soon as the webinar finishes. So as soon as somebody exits the webinar, they'll get that survey through their internet browser, and as a result the completion rates for the surveys are very good. In fact, probably the thing I like most about GoToWebinar is the ease of the process of setting up the webinar. It's very logical, very clearly laid out, not complicated, and you can add as many bells and whistles as you like. I think the way that GoToWebinar sets up its registration pages is very, very clever and very, very simple. Perhaps the thing that I'm not so fond of with respect to GoToWebinar, although I've personally never been bitten by it, is the old record button and the need to manually record. It's not a unique problem to GoToWebinar, but it just hides a little bit. There are some strategies to get around that, and I'm certainly happy to pass those on if that's an area that causes heartache for you. That is GoToWebinar.
Hello and welcome to WebEx. WebEx has a couple of big advantages straight off the bat before we actually start looking at what's here in the layout for the presenters. Let's just acknowledge a couple of terrific things about WebEx. One of the things I like is its reliability. It gets lots of marks for being a very reliable product. It's been around a long time, and a lot of the bugs with WebEx have been worked out over the years, so it tends to be a nice reliable system. One of the other things that's really good with WebEx as well as some of the clever little integrations. For example, there's some extensions available for Google Chrome, which makes it very easy for you to transfer very quickly out of a Google Chrome browser at any stage straight into a WebEx meeting. Similarly, it has good extensions that add into Microsoft Office. So if you're in a Microsoft Office product, including Outlook, and you want to start a meeting or a webinar, you can click and be there within seconds. It integrates really well with those types of products. With respect to the layout, as you can see here, there's a nice big video feed coming in for me, which makes it very easy for me to see what's going on and see what the participants are seeing by me just having a little glance, and I can see what's happening. Everything else I need is pretty easily spotted. There's lots of white space here. I can start recording by clicking on this button. I can lock the room so that no one else can come on in through the doors, and when I'm finished I can leave the room here as well. I can check my audio settings, I can share the screen, which we'll do in a second, and I can also invite and remind people. So if people haven't shown up, I can chase them down by sending out new invites directly from within the WebEx interface for the presentations, which is pretty cool. On the right hand side here you can see that we've also got chat functionality, so we can type something in there. Hi there, and it'll appear straight up in the feed as well, so we can communicate with our participants using that chat. Additionally, there's a notes feature here as well, so we can record notes as we move through the presentation. Oops, autocorrect actually picked that up for me then. Great idea by Tom, and that allows me to pick that up later. Bring that video feed back, just as simple as clicking that to see what's going on with the video feed. Down the bottom we've got polling, and I've already worked out one of the polls and put it here so that we can get that up and running at any stage. Just a matter of clicking open poll, so it's all ready to go. We wait for the votes to come in, and when the votes are finished, close the poll and we can see the results. So pretty straightforward. And as I move through it too in advance, I can click that individual results button so I can see all the individual results of all the people as they submitted their poll results. Let's look what else was worth talking about here. I think we should share our screen, so let's show how that works. What I might do is I might share our Google Chrome. So we'll click on that and up it comes just like that. So very quick and easy. I'm now looking at what's on my Google Chrome screen, which I've already set up in advance, and it's all set to go with a picture there of my website. I can play the video from the website through YouTube, and that should run pretty quickly.
What is webinar software? Tonight, let's find out.
Okay, so it's nice and seamless and easy as well. To move away from that sharing of my desktop, it's just as simple as going up the top of the screen here. I've got all the options here like I had before to, with respect to audio, with respect to managing participants, looking at chat, etc. I can just stop sharing the screen and it goes straight back to this original interface. Another thing I can do here as well is I can create a whiteboard. It's as simple as click on that. Now the whiteboard appears in the tabs across the top, and I can start drawing, I can start typing, I can change the colour and do all sorts of things to create content that the participants can see and can interact with. So that's WebEx. It's quite a tidy program. I can also manage the various functionalities across here as well. It's a great program, works really well, and if that looks like it's something that suits you, all power to you. That's WebEx. Welcome inside Adobe Connect. Let's take a bit of a tour. I suppose one of the things that's great about Adobe Connect is its flexibility of layouts. Over on the side of the screen here, they've got 3 different native layouts that you can use, but you can also develop your own layouts and insert information into the different layouts so that you can actually progress a webinar by going from one layout to the next and moving your way along. If you don't want one, for example, just hit next and it's gone, and it's effectively like programming or session planning a webinar based upon these layouts. It's a very clever option that's been uniquely done in terms of the way they've prepared it by Adobe Connect, and I love it. Now with respect to the screen we're looking at the moment, we're in the sharing mode, and you can see that there's opportunities to share your screen. Let's grab a document, for example. Here's one that I loaded up earlier. So I'll give you an idea how quickly this loads up. So we've already put this document in and ready to go for today's webinar, and you can see it comes up very quickly within the software, and I like that. Rather than sharing a desktop or rather than sharing a different platform, because it's simple, it's easy, and it's there. And you can imagine that if this was a PowerPoint, for example, in landscape orientation, it would look beautiful on the screen. We can stop sharing that now, and instead, well, let's share a whiteboard. And so here's a whiteboard. We've got options here to draw all over it however we like, and we can brainstorm some solutions by using that sharing function. We've got a list of attendees here. You can see my video feed right there on screen as well, and also a chat function as well. So we can type in whatever we want into the chat, and it pops up automatically. And also our attendees can do the same as well. Changing mode now to the discussion, just to give you an idea of some of the extra functionality of Adobe Connect. We can see here there's a place for discussion notes. So we can type whatever we want here in the discussion notes, and we can keep a record of the discussion as it progresses throughout the webinar. Very cool, very clever. Alternatively, on the other side here, we've got a poll, and here's one that I just snapped together quickly as we got ready to go live with this webinar. We'll open up that poll, and as the votes roll in from our participants, they'll be showed here, and then we've got options to end the poll when we like, and to broadcast the results to our participants as well, so they can see what the results are. Okay, very, very cool, very, very easy, all contained within this one box, which is very easy to find. And again, keeping in mind that you can customize these layouts however you want. A list of attendees is always available to us, so we can see how they're progressing and what they want, see if they've got their hands up perhaps, see if they're asking us to speak louder or softer, or if they're giving laughter and applause. We can see all that next to the attendees' names in this attendee area here. The other layout is collaboration, and this one, again, you've got the whiteboard on the top so you can collaborate. You've got an opportunity to upload files, something that we may have already uploaded in the system already. We can provide access to that from here, or bring in other files as well off our computer or off content that we've already uploaded into Adobe Connect. Also, there's another place for notes here, and again, that ever-present chat. So that's just a quick tour of all the functionality, of the main functions. There's plenty more that are available through these options here in terms of customizing the Adobe Connect experience for you as the presenter or for your attendees. That's it, all ready to go. Adobe Connect.
Okay, let's have a look at Blackboard Collaborate. Now with Blackboard Collaborate, you'll see that there's a series of small panels here. These are very easily detached, and once we detach them, we can move them to wherever we like. So very easy to set up a custom layout of our own preference in Blackboard Collaborate. Blackboard Collaborate gives us three main screen options here. Firstly is the whiteboard, so we can write whatever or draw whatever we want on the whiteboard with the input of our participants, and that's all shown in this big part here. Alternatively, we can switch to sharing either our desktop or a particular program that we've got open, so that we can share those with our participants and learn with each other. And thirdly, we've got an option to enter a URL in here, and we go to that URL. So Collaborate is very good at you leading your learners or participants to a particular website and leading them on a bit of a tour. There are some things I really like about Blackboard Collaborate. One of them is up here in the top corner. It's load content. What load content allows you to do is to preload a document of whatever type, and you can preload that document, most usually a PowerPoint presentation, and preload the PowerPoint presentation into your screen so you don't have to bring it in and share that PowerPoint. Now, we showed you a moment ago that you can share them, but you don't need to. You can preload it, and that just makes things a little bit easier when the document that you want to work with is already preloaded, and it makes it easier to work with that. I really like that feature about Blackboard Collaborate. Another one of the features of Blackboard Collaborate that I love is session planning. Blackboard Collaborate allows you to prepare and upload a session plan in advance. So you can have the session plan all worked out and sitting in a window on your screen, and you basically click your way through the session plan. As you click through the session plan, Blackboard will respond by doing the things you want to do, and you don't have to think as hard. You've got a recipe that you can follow, and it saves you time. Thirdly, Blackboard Collaborate is very good with breakouts, very good in terms of you enabling your learners, your participants to break out into different groups to work independently and then bring them back in together. It gives you lots of options. They're fairly detailed, as you might imagine, because there are lots of options, but it gives you lots of flexibility in terms of the way that you organize your webinar. Probably the one thing that I'm not terribly excited about with Blackboard Collaborate is its polling feature. It does have a polling feature. It allows you to do a couple of different types of polls, yes, no's, ABCs, ABCDs, etc. But it's not very sophisticated in the way it works, and not a big fan. It basically publishes the results onto the whiteboard. It doesn't have a separate functional polling feature as you see with a lot of the other corporate systems. It is there, but I don't like the way it works. I don't think it's very sophisticated. Anyway, in a nutshell, that's Blackboard Collaborate.
Thanks for watching this video. I've prepared a special resource for you that accompanies this video series. It's my webinar platforms guide. It's free and you can download it beside this video. It includes links to all the software you've seen in this video and also direct links to the pricing pages as well. Grab my webinar platforms guide and it will help you make the right decision for you in terms of choosing the right webinar software for you, your business or your school. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks for watching and have an awesome day.